Hey guys, this is Trenchy back again to bring you another video, and this time we are doing another review for a movie I've slept on for a long time. This is a movie that's very highly revered, or like very much talked about um, by horror fans and movie people in general. And I don't know, I just never got around to it, but I finally have, and that is the Fly from, what was it, 1986 or maybe 1985, either 1985 or 1986. I'll have it in the title what year it's from of the review, but yes, David Cronenberg's The Fly. Um, I haven't seen, like, besides, I recently saw The Dead Zone, like, a couple months ago. And I like that a lot. But I haven't seen a lot of David Cronenberg's work like Videodrome. I loved him in Nightbreed, which is one of my favorite horror movies and fantasy movies of all time. I love Nightbreed, and I loved his performance in it as Dr. Decker, one of my favorite horror villains. Um, of all horror villains, but uh, I've never like really dived into his work. I will have to eventually, but yeah, I like The Fly. But starting out, I was going because I did also see the 56. I think it's 56, the 50s movie with Vincent Price. I did see the original actually first. I just watched it recently too for the first time. And I watched it before I did this one. And I was gonna review it, for Halloween and stuff, but I just never got around to it. Um, I just never, I just never got around to doing it. I just wasn't feeling it. I'll probably review it eventually, but I'm just gonna be honest. I liked it, but I wasn't like heavily amazed by it. Like, I don't know. Like, I like old school horror, and I like Vincent Price a lot. Like, I love a lot of Vincent Price's films. House on Haunted Hill, The Tingler, Madhouse, fucking Monster Club. I know he has a small role in that, but I really like his part, and I really just have fun with that movie. But um, and I like old school horror. I like I like the Universal monster films. I like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Um, I do like. I haven't seen every old school kind of horror film, but I do like the old school horror as well from like the 30s and 40s and stuff. But just this movie, that movie just didn't. I don't know, it was good, but like I said, I don't think I would rewatch it anytime soon because I don't know, just didn't. It just didn't really. There was just some things that turned me off from it. There was some things they did really good. There was some good stuff in there. Some stuff I really liked. But then just like there was like kind of stuff like the ending I wasn't really a fan of. I wish they switched out our kind of professor character and Vincent Price made Vincent Price kind of the inventor, kind of professor, fly character, and make that guy the brother. Like, I don't know, um the movie just, it was, like I said, it was okay. It's okay. I'll watch it again, but probably not anytime soon. But now getting to this film. Getting to the actual Fly. I slept on this film way too long. I think this is, from what I've seen, it's superior. It's a superior remake. It's like in that kind of that era where they were making superior remakes, even though I haven't seen the original. I guess still gotta see the original Blob and the original Thing before I make any judgments. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with the remakes anyways, but want to at least give those a chance and the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers a chance as well. But what the fuck? He just opened that door on his own? God damn it. Okay. Got my cats are doing weird shit. My cats are doing weird shit. I think he just opened the door on his own. I don't know, I guess he wants to go upstairs. Whatever. That was weird. But, no, this remake is great. And I really enjoyed it. I really did. So you got Seth Brundle. He's a scientist. He's kind of introverted, but he knows how to talk to people. He's kind of eccentric. And you on crack? You're running around an awful lot. Okay. The cat's really excited for some reason. Jesus Christ. I'm never gonna get used to that. But, I should be used to that by now. But, no, he's eccentric, and kind of introverted, but he's a good talker. He knows how to talk, and he's talking to, well, he's played by Jeff Goldblum, so of course he's going to be eccentric. I don't think Jeff Goldblum could play a character that's not eccentric. I think it's impossible, because Goldblum, he does, but I feel like at the base of every one of his characters, even though they're slightly different, he just adds his own eccentric personality to every character he plays, and then just plays them slightly different. Like, they're different people, and they act different, but they all have that same kind of Goldblum eccentric base, if you get what I mean. He's not a bad actor. He doesn't play himself every movie. Well, he plays a version of himself every movie. He doesn't play the same version of himself every movie, but he plays like a different version of himself every movie, it feels like. I haven't seen all his movies. Maybe he doesn't every movie. But, like, from the few I've seen, like, The Fly, Jurassic Park, fucking Buckaroo Banzai. I think I've seen him in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, even though I don't remember his role in that one, so maybe he's not as Goldbloomy. But I don't know. But in quite a few of his roles, it feels like he's playing himself, but like a different version of himself, almost like a clone, or almost like an alternate dimension. You know how, like, the Marvel and DC, you got all these different Earths, or more with DC on Earths, but I think Marvel's got kind of like that too. But well, yeah, they got the Ultimate Universe. I guess Carl was telling me about that. So yeah, Marvel kind of has that, and they had the Spider-Man clones. But yeah, how Marvel and DC have these different Earths. I feel like Goldblum is just playing himself, but from a different Earth every time. Maybe they are just opening the multiverse and bringing out a new Goldblum for every film. Be like, hey, Mr. Goldblum. Hey, Earth 23 Goldblum. Hey, Earth 18 Goldblum. But no, so yeah, he's essentially being good old Goldblum, but just slightly different, and he's very likable. He's very enjoyable. And you have Gina Davis as his love interest, Veronica, and she's really good. I really liked their chemistry and stuff. And I really like how she has to deal with these positions she's put in throughout the film, because she goes through a lot in this movie, man. Between uh, Seth Brundle's kind of, you know, experimental transformation and falling in love with him, and then, you know, all this shit happening, and her boss, who is her ex-lover and has a key to the apartment and won't give it back, is kind of like up her ass and trying to fuck her and trying to sabotage her new relationship and trying to do all these kind of like bad kind of things to kind of like get into her pants and kind of take possession of her in a way. Which we'll get back to him later. He's an interesting character. Yeah, they're at this like science convention, and Goldblum's like, I got this thing that will transform science. You know, he's speaking Goldblum, and there's like, really? She walks away, and Goldblum's like, no, come on, I'm not lying, and she takes her to his house, and he's like, look at these big metal things I have in my basement. There's like these pods, and she ends up giving him like one of her stockings, like, you know, those like see-through socks, and they put it in the machine, and the machine teleports it. The machine, you know, teleports it, and then she wants to go take this to the press at first and run, and he's like, no, it's too early. Wait, and she kind of goes to do it, but her, like I said, her boss slash boyfriend before doesn't believe her at first because he's an asshole, and Goldblum ends up being like, how about you document me? We'll document this whole experience together. It'll be your story, but you'll get to experience it in full, and you'll get to follow the project to the end. And they do that. And, you know, shit starts going wrong at first. A baboon is turned fucking inside out. Which is a pretty gory scene. A fucking baboon is turned inside out because apparently, I guess Goldblum is being funded by these secret companies and stuff because he has all these credentials, and they just let him do whatever he wants and fund him as long as they just let him get away with doing all this shit, essentially. And like I said, he's not a bad guy. He wants to, you know, further science, and he wants to, you know, revolutionize the world and try to make things better. And he's just very focused on the project. And like I said, he's a very likable character. And they really take the time to build up the relationship with Seth and Veronica. We really get to see these characters kind of grow together and kind of fall in love and care about each other. So when the shit hits the fan and Brundle, you know, shit starts happening to him, it's like, it's real. It's not like it's about two characters you don't give a fuck about. Or you don't give a fuck about one character and care about the other. You care about both these characters together, and you care about their relationship as a whole. You care about everything. Um, which I really like, that they did that. That they took the time to not just rush into the fly stuff, to actually grow these people as characters and make this relationship actually kind of feel real. And it does. And because like at the end, when Veronica has to do what she's got to do, which I won't reveal, but you could probably guess. You feel that she feels bad about it. You feel that there is sorrow. You feel the hesitance of her not wanting to do it. You feel that this is someone she truly loved, and you feel that throughout the movie, but especially in those final moments, you feel the heartache and shit that Veronica is going through because of what she has to do. And that's very important. And a lesser director's hands or writer's hands, they would have just been like, oh, get to the fly stuff. But it's like, no. It's not the fly stuff that makes this movie. That's all great. The special effects are awesome. The transformations, how slow it is, how nasty it is. Like starting, because he gets a cut on his back before he even goes into the machine. Because what happens is they're having sex, and he like lands on some sort of tape recorder or something, gets stuck in his back, it leaves a little scratch, and they're like, oh well. And then later on, when he realizes the machine works, he puts a baboon through. He puts the baboon's brother through, and the baboon's brother comes out alive because he ends up figuring how the machine works. They end up studying and they learn, what's going wrong. They actually solve that problem in the film. They're not like, they just figure it out. No, they're like sitting there and they're thinking about it, and then somehow an accident, he thinks of an experiment involving steak, and he kind of figures out what is happening with the machine and how he can fix it. Which I like. It takes its time. That's something I'm trying to say. The movie takes its time. And I like that. I like how it doesn't rush anything. It takes its time with essentially a lot of the movie. It takes its time with the story. It lets the story marinate. It lets things come kind of naturally. It's not trying to rush to the final point. It's telling its time to tell this story and show this tragedy. Because it's a horror movie, but it's also a tragedy of this couple and this scientist, this young ambitious scientist, and the guy who the boyfriend boss of Veronica starts fucking blackmailing, like saying that he did a bunch of research and he's gonna reveal this project that Seth is doing unless Veronica kind of keeps him informed and spies for him, and still trying to get her to fuck him. While that's happening, Seth is like, gets a little jealous, gets a little drunk, and he starts talking to the baboon. It's like, I'm sorry I killed your brother, but fuck it. I wouldn't ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. It's my turn. So he hops in the machine, all drunk, and fucked up, and like, not in the, this is not the time to be doing any of this. This is horrible timing. This is horrible. Like, you know it's gonna go terrible. He's in his pod. You notice there was a fly flying around. And the fly gets in the pod. And boom. Shit just starts going back. And I like it takes its time. With the transformation, it takes its time, like little hairs start growing on his back. Then he looks sick, but he starts feeling like really good and starts doing all these physical things. But then all he wants to do is have sex, and then he's like, get in the pod, you could be better too. And Veronica's like, no, and she gets the fuck out of Dodge, because she's like, I can get in this pod, so he goes out to find another woman to put in the pod to be on the same physical level as him, and he like goes to this bar and gets into an arm wrestling competition and breaks a dude's arm, and awesome effects there. And then slowly throughout the movie, you know, he starts eating more sweets, starts adding more sugar to his diet, starts fucking, ears are falling off, teeth are falling off, slowly though, not all at once, very, very slowly throughout the movie. He starts injecting slime that, like, melts down his food. And some of it they don't even show. Like, when he's demonstrating how he eats, they don't even show that. They just show the boss's character reaction to that. And the effects are fucking amazing. They're great. They're great. Like, when the fingernails are falling off, they're great effects. They're gross. They're gooey at points. They just show, like, how decrepit he's becoming, how deformed, how creepy, and just, like, one part. And some of the effects look very different from others. Like, I like how at one point he looks kind of corpse-ish like, and another part he's, like, got, like, kind of big and bulky and looks like he's got giant boils all over him. And, yeah, I like how slow the transformation is. Like I said, taking its time. And even at one point, he just has little hairs growing on his face. And it's great. It's fucking, it's just, I just love how most movies, they just would have, you know, rushed to the fly shit and had the fly running around attacking people. That's how usually a movie like this would probably go. And I will say this, the 50s one didn't do that either. The 50s one actually didn't do that either, and I kind of like what the 50s one did as well. But I will say, like, this one, I feel like still did it better, because we have Veronica watching this person she loved and believed in slowly deteriorate and turn into someone else, into something else. I was like, that's from, like, some of the old commercials and stuff. It's funny because there was another line, be afraid, be very afraid. I didn't realize that came from this movie, because I was in, like, an old commercial for, like, a pack of, like, horror kids movies, like, and some adventure kids movies, is like Beetlejuice, Addams Family movies, some of the Scooby-Doo movies I think were in there, Gremlins, I think Goonies was even included in there, in the trailer, and they would be like, be afraid, be very afraid, be very, 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 very afraid. Like, that would be the, that was like the narrator voice over the trailer. And I did not, or commercial, that would play on, like, DVDs, and I think it was even on some VHSs, because I did have some Scooby-Doo VHSs and stuff, but, they ended up, I did not realize that was kind of a takeoff of a line from this movie, so that was kind of cool. My bad, I get sidetracked sometimes. I go on, like, random little rants, but, I love how it's kind of like metaphor for addiction, or like even like mental illness, like dementia and stuff, and other illnesses. You're just watching this person slowly deteriorate and slowly become a person you don't know, because they're changing, they're getting more angry, kind of like Seth does in the movie. They're doing shit, they're hurting you without even realizing it, and they're not thinking clearly and taking it out on you, and you're just watching this person like slowly, you know, die and become someone else, and it's really sad when you're sitting there and you know what's happening. You're trying to help. You're watching someone drown. You're trying to throw them the life preserver, but they won't. They won't take it. That is like, that's a real horror. That's one of the most real horrifying things that people could face. You know, like that's some real shit. And this movie touches that and hits that nail on the head, exactly, using him turning him to fly as a metaphor for that. That might not be what they were going for, but that's kind of what I took away from it. And I think that was done brilliantly, brilliantly. Because this movie tackles some heavy topics, um, like from kind of sexual harassment from the boss, and you know he's her boss, so he has control over her to a certain degree, and kind of stalking her, and like that's a topic that's kind of tackled in this movie, of just this, like, this person, like when you work for someone and they have this much power over you, and they give him a second degree of power. He has a key to her house. He can show up at any fucking time, and he stalks her and stuff. Like, that's another fucking horrifying situation that people face in real life. That the idea of this, like, you got this job and this boss has a lot of control over you, and they want you, and they use their control to get you to do things. And yeah, they kind of tackle that, not completely, but that theme's there. And then then we also have abortion, because my bad, this is kind of a spoiler review, but a lot of people know this movie. Um, but I'm sorry, it's kind of spoilerly, but they deal with abortion because she ends up. I won't give everything away though. She ends up getting pregnant by Seth, and she's like, I don't want. I don't want this, like, like, I see what's happening to Seth, and I had sex with him while he was while he was already infected with this. I don't want to bring this into the world. I don't want to, harm myself or harm anybody else. I don't want to bring this monster into the world, which you would think, I guess some people would think it's kind of selfish, because it's like, it's still life and you could raise it and stuff, but I get the fear. Like, I really don't think it's selfish because she sees what's happening to Seth. She sees the monster he's becoming. She doesn't want to bring another monster like that into the world. She doesn't want to be put in that position. And then Seth wants to keep the baby because he knows he's dying, and there's this movie is just an interesting movie. And then you have the asshole boss, this is where things get really interesting. He's a piece of shit. Yes, he's horrible. Fucking horrible person. But he's still a person. And at the end of the day, some part of him still cares for Veronica. So when Veronica's going through this, he supports her. He even offers to help with Seth and help save him, even though he knows Seth. He knows Seth is kind of his competition for her heart, but he still is like, maybe I can help, and maybe we can do something. And hell, when she's going for the abortion, he's kind of like, he's like, I'll help set up the abortion. And he's kind of like telling her, like, hey, calm down, wait a couple days, we'll do this, but like, you need to not too frantic about it, we need to do this right. And very calm and very supportive of the abortion, which I don't know how it was in the 80s, but I just know in like older times, usually when abortion was brought up, the men are like, no, 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 no. And I know this was from a guy that he sees what's happening to this guy, and also he's his competition, but it's still, I don't know, to see like, a person just being supportive of that in like a time period. But I don't know if it was more accepted then, but hell, it was barely accepted in the 2000s. It's crazy how this is kind of touching upon abortion, which it doesn't really do much with it, but it's brought up, and then we have, the whole thing with abortion now. That's very hot topic now still. Very, very hot topic, with the shit that's been happening with it, especially in the last, I think it was, how long ago, like 4 months or something, when they did the law, and just all this awful shit been happening with that. But I don't want to go into that. But yeah, just interesting to see that. Yeah, this dude's a piece of shit, but he still has a heart, and he actually helped save her in the end. And it's like, he's not a hero. He's never really shown as a hero. He's still very much a dickhead. Very much a piece of shit. This is not a redemption. I don't see it as a redemption. Still piece of shit. But it just shows that people are layered. They could have just easily made him awful piece of shit, horrible human. And he is. But they could have just made him no conscience at all. But no, they gave him layers. They, like at the end, instead of going to help her, he could have ran away or something. Or not come because, he's a selfish prick. But no, he came for her at the end because somewhat of him does care. It's kind of a possessive, fucked up love. It's not good at all. I do not agree with their relationship at all. He's a dickhead that's trying to control her for the workplace and stalking her and going into her apartment at random times and having showers, even though he's not welcome there and won't give her back the key. But he's still human in the end of the day. He's still like, he still has a conscience, he still has feelings, and he does do the right thing sometimes. He's supportive of her, like, when she's crying about, that she finds out she's pregnant. instead of really getting mad at her for having a baby with another man, he supports her. He's like, oh shit, I get that you're upset about this. You know, like, he's an interesting character. It's very interesting. Um, but yeah, this movie's just fucking fantastic. Like, I do have a flaw with it. I do wish they would have shown what happened to the fly that went in with him, because in the original, the human started taking on the fly characteristics and becoming the fly, but the fly started taking on human characteristics and becoming human. I really like that. And, I wish they would have done more with that. And the baby, too, like, I wish they would have tried to do a little bit more with the baby. I know that that was just kind of an add-on and added for extra, like, so the climax could happen, because I won't get into it, but crazy shit happens in the climax of the movie. But, I get what, but it would have been cool to see more with the baby. I guess there's a part 2 where the baby's a kid, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know much about it. Guess the original Fly has sequels as well. But yeah, I would like to see more been done with like, I would love to see like this little fly flying around becoming a human. I think it ended a little abruptly, but it works. It does work. But yeah, like I said, I'd like to see a little bit more, but that's not really a bad thing. Well, besides, I think they could have done a little more with the fly itself, because they even say you didn't absorb the fly, you just fused, kind of like, well, maybe that means they did fuse together, but I wish it was kind of like the original, where they kind of switched. Where they kind of switched a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, the effects fucking amazing. Like, the transformation. I just love slow transformations like this. That's why I love Ginger Snaps, because the transformation's not done in one go. It's very slow, and we get to see them slowly, her slowly transform, and that's the same here. Yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie, man. Just all the actors are great. They carry it. The story's good. It's very just well done. I slept on the fly for way too long. Great movie. I would watch this again. Like I said, it has the fictional horror of the fly, but then we have some real life horrors thrown in there, especially with like the addiction / disease type thing. I really see that. Yeah. Plus, when he's making jokes as the fly, it's like where he's kind of telling jokes while he's becoming the fly, and I like how they do that. How they still keep, because he was kind of jokey and stuff before, so I like how they kept that. Well, he's still trying to keep his humanity while he's becoming this creature. The humanity's still fighting through, even though it's losing a little bit at times. Yeah, and like even in the end, when he becomes a fly, like when the full-on thing, you can still tell he kind of loves her. And she still loves him, like I said. And that's just what makes that moment so heartbreaking, because at this point you care about the relationship, you care about the characters. So, because they put that work in for it, and it just, boom. It just hits. Yeah, great movie. Great movie. But you already know this. Everybody watching this video, I'm sorry for some spoilers. Yeah, there might have been some big spoilers. I'm sorry, but I don't know. It was hard to talk about this movie without getting into some spoilers, but I'm not getting into everything and explaining everything like the ending and the big plan his big plan and stuff. Um, and some of the gore stuff, like I'm leaving that out. But yeah, I don't think it'll ruin the movie though. Just watch the movie, man. It's great because it's about the journey you go on with these characters. It's the tragic journey. It's the tragedy. This movie's a tragedy. It's a horror kind of romantic tragedy because in the beginning it's kind of like a sci-fi romantic drama, and then it becomes like this horror tragic sci-fi movie that, yeah, like this B movie that's like a big budget B movie. Even though I don't know if this had a big budget, but it feels like a big budget, like between the acting and the just effects and everything. It feels um, big budget, and it feels like a big budget B movie, and it works kind of like The Thing in that way. Um, but yeah, in the end of the day, this movie kicks ass. I give it a high 9. I liked it a lot. I rarely had problems with it. I did, like I said, I had a couple, but I liked the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was great, and yeah, I get why people like it. I get why people when they talk about horror they bring up The Fly. I get it. I get it. I wish I could say the same about the 50s Fly. Um, which I don't know, maybe one day I'll return to that and review it because I'm not going to review it now. I just don't feel like it. I would have to rewatch it, so maybe sometime in the future, while from now, I'll go and watch it again. But um, yeah, I will eventually though. But yeah, David Cronenberg's The Fly, banger. It's a banger. It's great. Uh, fantastic movie. But yeah, hope you guys are having a good Halloween season. I'll try to do a few more reviews. I will be on some other people's channels, doing some things. I'll be on Card Master Fear. We filmed an episode for something that we're doing, a little project. So you'll see that at some point, and I'll also be on Grande's Graveyard this Thursday, or next Thursday. No, today's Friday. This upcoming Thursday, and I'll be reviewing with him, of course. With him, we'll be reviewing my favorite horror film of all time, Pet Sematary, and its sequel, Pet Sematary 2, with Eddie Furlong. And that's gonna be great because Grande is fucking awesome. So, and both is gonna be great. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy the one with Carl. We did a really good job on it, I think, and we had fun doing it, and that's awesome. And Grande's always awesome. He always does an awesome show. Hopefully, I don't bring it down with my existence. But hopefully I don't ruin it by just being there. But no, it'll be good. We'll have a fun time. It'll be great. So yeah, look for those. Please check out both channels. They're awesome. And yeah, I'll try to be doing some more horror things. For Halloween, I just kind of want to do a random, like, just throw up some things I've never seen, throw up some reviews of things that I have seen. I'm not really pressuring myself. Whatever I get done, I get done. Whatever I get up, I get up. You know, I'm not making a big deal out of it. I'm just taking my time with it, you know. Doing a little bit here, a little bit there, and also enjoying movies without reviewing them. Because that's important too. It's important, like, you know, if you're a reviewer, you don't have to review everything you watch. You really don't. Sometimes just watch something to enjoy it. You know? Don't have to review everything you watch. Even though I know sometimes you feel like you have to. But yeah. And the cat's going crazy again. Sorry, this has been a long review, but 45 minutes. That seems to be like the the main kind of consensus for how long these reviews have been, even though they probably should be shorter. But I don't know. I like talking about these movies, and I ramble and I get distracted, and I just don't. I don't like that. I like it to be real. Like I don't. I know editing will probably make it better, and sometimes I do edit just to put if the review gets cut off, I put it together. But I just like I like the shit to be. Yeah, like I just like it to be real. Just not really notes. Just thought coming out of my brain onto the thing. And sometimes I'll forget things and it'll suck, but you know, it is what it is. I'm kind of lazy. I just like doing this just free form. That's how I like to do it, so. But, yeah. Again, thank you for watching. Sorry for the rambling. And, hope you guys have a good day. Stay frosty. This is Trenchy signing off. Have a good Halloween season. Beep bop boop.